reading some articles the other day. There are robots looking at constructing houses, whether it's 3D printers or... I think that's the way we've got to go. The way I see the world going, it's trying to speed stuff up on site, trying to make stuff more safe, make it a bit more predictable.
You've equally got to give people opportunity because they ultimately feel, well, I've outgrown the business doesn't want to grow to the pace I want it to grow to, so maybe I have to do something different.
Microsoft Copilot, the stuff it can do is amazing. You can put a document in there, it'll check it for you. We're encouraging it, trying to see, is there anything else we can get to help us make our job easier and better?
There's so many businesses where even if it's noisy in the office, people aren't necessarily happy. People genuinely coming in with a smile on their face and enjoy being here. That's a bloody good metric. What's the plan next? Do you see the business really growing? Is it going to be slow?
We want to manage the business. That's the key for us, just managing the business. We're over every project, so if we get a call from somebody, we know the detail.
Right, welcome to the next episode of Growing Consultancies. I am delighted to be joined by Nick Wdowczyk of GWB Consultants. Nick, welcome.
Thank you, thanks for having us.
No, absolutely. I mean, me and you, Nick, we've probably spoken, I reckon, years. Obviously, I've been doing this a long time, but I think me and you have spoken many times over the years.
Probably on and off for a long time,
yeah absolutely. Absolutely. So, to start, so people have an understanding, can you just talk us through GWB, current headcount, turnover, primary sectors you focus on?
Yeah, sure. So, like I said, GWB Consultants, we're just over 2 years old. We've got a headcount of seven of us. Right. We're looking for more at the moment to grow that. Turnover wise, from our second year, we've just done £1 million.
Brilliant.
In turnover. Just closed our accounts, but so that was great just for our second year. In terms of sectors, we do a bit of everything. So a lot of resi, a lot of industrial, a lot of commercial, leisure, defence work.
Right.
We're also doing a bit for charities. So we've got a nice. It's probably a bit more than that, but a good spread. So we're not just tied to one sector, and also gives our guys a bit of variety as well, not just in one sector. So got a good after 2 years, got a good spread of work.
Yeah, wicked. So that a lot of those sectors I'm not necessarily surprised by, but defence is a bit random, especially for a small consultancy. But just tell me about that.
Yeah, there's only so much I can say.
Right, of course. Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah.
But to be honest, that particularly, not personally mine, but my business partners, it were very much via consultants, via the back door, because we're only a young business. It's quite...
So like a sub-consultant type arrangement?
Correct,
okay, cool.
to the point where we are on their framework.
Brilliant.
So it's opened up a great bit of business for us.
And it's so worthwhile. I think there's a lot of sectors, defence being one, that it's often difficult for small consultancies to get into for varying reasons, around, I think, clients in certain sectors. There's often a big talk, isn't there, about, as much as the government talks a really good game about supporting SMEs, it's damn near impossible in many cases to get on the necessary frameworks, to jump through the hoops, to have all the PI and all the other bits you need. So, doing that sub-consultant route, but also kind of widening your risk profile, because at the end of the day, defence, sadly, because of the world we live in, is only going one way, isn't it, in terms of spend?
It is, yeah, and there's a lot of work through this particular one that's coming through. Good. But you're right, it's just having that bit of diversity, and just keeps it out of mischief, really.
Yeah, 100%. Good, brilliant. Is it all cost, or is it PM cost?
Apologies, I missed that bit.
No, that's fine.
So we are quantity surveyors, project managers.
Yeah.
That's what we do at the moment.
Yeah.
So got a good spread between both. We have jobs where it's quantity surveying only, project management only, but also quite a lot is both, and doing the employer's agent. Yeah, brilliant. Employer's agent role. So that's our skill set. Stick to what we're good at.
Yeah. And obviously, look at the northwest. Whereabouts are you in?
So we're based in just on the outskirts of Manchester.
Nice.
Just in a serviced office, just on the outskirts of Oldham, which is handy because I travel over from Yorkshire, and it's sort of in the middle with me other two business partners. Yeah. But we're working all over the country at the moment. Right. So there's a fair few miles and train, even air miles. We've got a few jobs in Ireland, so we just go where our clients want us to go.
Right,
so
excellent. Yeah. So, which, to begin with in a business, you almost have to just let's take the work, let's do the work, and certainly if you've got good clients, then you obviously try and make sure you service them, don't you?
Exactly, and the daft thing is, it's actually just as easy to get to Ireland and to get to London. And it can be cheaper as well, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely. Well, it's so cheap, isn't it, with Ryanair or EasyJet?
Ryanair flight,
absolutely. It's dead cheap. Good. So you all met at Walkersheim, I believe. Yeah. Okay, good. And so obviously, what I would, and I guess you probably got some good lessons, which we'll come on to later on about what you do with GWB as a business. But always, my understanding of Walkersheim as a business is a very close-knit business.
Yeah.
Really good group of people. They had fairly low attrition, I would say, compared to many other consultancies. And often a lot of people put it down to, and again, we'll probably unpack some of this later, but a lot of people put it down to Des, who was the chief executive or MD, would you call him?
He founder,
founder,
heartbeat of the company, yeah.
And obviously, I guess there was an evolution. The business got bought out. I think Des retired, did he?
He did, after it, pretty much a few months after it all went through.
Right, okay. And so at what point did you guys think, you know what, it's maybe time to do our own thing?
Yeah, so I was there for 15, just over 15 years. So it was a long stint, and kind of as you touched on, I've always thought, is it time for a new challenge? But look, I had a great time there, learned a lot. Des was a great role model for us, but when that sort of purchase went through, it just felt a good time to see what we're out there. Obviously came part of a wider group, which obviously kind of took the directors away from doing actual work, which is fine. Yeah, that's the way it goes. So personally, I just thought, right, it's time just to see what's out there for a new challenge. Had a few talks with various other consultancies. Had a chat with Gav, who's now my business partner, and said, I'm ready for a change. And he was kind of like, you know what, I am too. so we sort of set out having chats, and then Pete, who's our sort of project management,
third initial,
the third initial, Pete, he kind of said the same.
Right,
so
brilliant.
we had a few meetings over at the Village Hotel in Bury, and it kind of, from them chats I was having with other consultancies, it was quite rightly, it's like, right, how much work you're going to bring with you and stuff like that, and it was just a thought process of, there's an opportunity here. If I'm going to have that conversation with my clients, why don't we do something for ourselves? Same with Gav, same with Pete, and it just felt the right time to try have the challenge of setting up our own business. Didn't quite have I thought about doing it myself, but it quickly, that was a very quick thought process. I just didn't have what's the word I'm looking for? Wasn't quite brave enough to do that. But having the two guys with us as well, it was just a great time, great opportunity. All had our own individual clients that we could potentially, and well, we're working with them now. So
amazing. So it's not even a case of braveness, I would say, in some ways. It's about that you've got to be able to bounce off it's very, I have to say this to a lot of solo founders who set up on their own, it can be a bloody lonely place, and it can be mega stressful. Whereas if there's three of you kind of share some of that burden between you, share some of the wins, share some of the losses.
Exactly.
You know, one Pete or Gav might be up while you're down in terms of winning your clients, so it kind of spreads the risk a little bit more. So I think there's a lot to be said for it. You've got to, I think, choose people wisely who you want to work with, and that you're all on the same page and you're all committed and you all want to work at the same pace. I guess that's important.
It is. Yeah, it's key for us.
Yeah. Good. Brilliant. So did you all literally hand your notice in the same day, or?
Pretty much.
Wow, but that was fun.
it kind of went down like a lead balloon.
I'm sure it did, yeah. Bloody hell.
But, you know, we tried to, look, I've worked there a long time. The guys had obviously had their own paths there, and you just got to be honest, and
100%.
You'd like to say we we just got it out there quickly. You know, we did get some advice, and the advice was, no, hand your notices in, keep it quiet. But we just thought, no, didn't feel right. Let's just be open and honest. This is what we're doing. It's not because we're falling out with anybody. It was just an opportunity that
time for a change.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly. A new challenge. So we felt like we're the bad guys for a few months.
Oh, I bet you did, yeah.
But yeah, naturally, obviously, I moved on with replacements, and we went off and started on our GWB journey.
Yeah, amazing, good. And so, were you all straight into an office? You say from day one we're going to be together, or how did you?
We did, because obviously we wanted to bounce things off each other. We literally started as the three of us, so it wasn't until about 6 months in we got our first employee, Tom. Right. So we very much wanted a base where we could work together and help each other out, and it was the right call. Looking back now, so it's the same building we're in, but we've moved up a few.
That's the advantage, isn't it, with serviced offices? You can do that. Oh, we need a bigger space now. So. Yeah,
exactly. So no, it were good. It were good because, like you say, it was a big call. It was a big call for us. To go away from a wage to having to do it in a different way. So no, it were good. It worked out well.
And did all of you have some degree of runway in terms of, personal savings? How soon did you have to start making fees? How much pressure was there?
Do you know what? We all obviously put money in to get the business going with various expenses and to pay ourselves, because obviously even if we brought work straight away, there was always going to be a lag of putting your invoice in at the end of the month and then getting paid. But because of the way we did it with Walker Syme, being honest, we actually agreed on which jobs were coming with us and
nice.
did it in a real amicable way,
That's
which gave us jobs to work on straight away.
Oh, brilliant.
So it worked out really, really well, and it just continued to just grow.
And why
from there?
Again, obviously we won't get into too much into the detail of that, but was it just because Walker Syme knew they were your clients, they were naturally going to go with you, and it made more sense for you just to take it with you? Yeah,
to some extent, and obviously some jobs were quite a way down the line. They were quite, some were into post contract, and it just made sense to come with us. And there was an element the client were like, no, we want to retain that knowledge and keep it going. So yeah, don't get me wrong, there were difficult conversations, but I think, being honest, at the end of the day, I think everyone realised it was the right thing for the client and the job.
Good. Well, that's pretty grown up, I imagine. And fair play to Walker Syme, to be fair, because a lot of other companies wouldn't have that attitude. And they'd struggle on and then probably do a really poor job for the client and probably lose them forever.
Yeah, so. and that's the reality of it. It's the client's got to come first, and they've got to be right, because ultimately, if that happens, the client will just go elsewhere. Opens the door for both sides lose out, don't they?
So you're 7 now, and you're saying you're looking to recruit a couple more, maybe. Is that all? What's the split between QS and PM in terms of core skill set, or can they all do either?
To be fair, so we have got some thoroughbred PMs. So Pete's is a bit of a PM Yoda. He's very knowledgeable, and he's training Adam up in a minute. But I do project management. Gav does project management, so we can be a bit more adaptable. So there's an even spread there.
Okay.
So I'd like to say turnover-wise, it's probably project management. QS is probably half and half.
Oh, really? Okay, good, decent.
Yeah,
brilliant.
It is, because a lot of our jobs are both. We do both roles, so it's a good even spread there.
Good. So obviously 2 years in, so that you've got good foundations, hired 4 additional people, maybe up to circa say 10 by the end of 26, which is brilliant. I think you got a decent turnover there going on. What's the plan next? If we were sitting down in 5 years, is there a defined plan? Do you see the business really growing? Is it going to be slow, sustainable? What's the plan? What do you guys want out of the business?
Funny enough, we got asked this question by one of our guys, and we all three of us looked at each other, kind of thought. When we had our first chats, the reason we did what we wanted to do is we all wanted to get back to project work.
Yeah,
and that was what we all enjoyed doing.
Yeah.
So when we had them chats, we always said, let's get to about 10.
Right.
And we'll be happy with that. We can we can stay involved. We can make sure we're all over the projects. And it, like you're saying, by the end of year 3, we could be at that already. So we had a chat. I think at the moment it's all a bit natural, but that's the key thing for us is we want to manage the business. So we haven't quite put a number of people on it, but we want to ensure we can. One of us is always over every project. We know all our staff, so that's the key. Whether that's 20 people, whether that's 30, we're not sure at the moment, but that's the key for us, just managing the business. We're over every project, so if we get a call from somebody, we know the detail. If we need to.
And it's an increasing formula. I'm seeing an increasing number of organisations of GWB size with a similar mindset. I equally know some organisations who, one of the guys had in a podcast a few weeks back. When I first started speaking to him 2 years ago, he was like, "We are not going over 30 staff." They're now at 45, and the two things happen. I think one is you become a victim of your own success. So clients like what you do and say, "We want to give you more work," and so you're like, "Oh, gonna have to recruit more then because we haven't got the capacity to do all of it." But also, your point you mentioned there earlier, which is brilliant, and I really encourage a lot of small business owners to have an answer to this, is your people should be asking you what's the plan. Because they want to know where they're personally going.
Exactly.
They want to be confident that there's some path for them. So I think, and I'd probably say exactly the same as you, Nick. Actually, if somebody asked me about my business, it's like it will have to feel right. I'll have to feel that I'm still involved with clients and that I know everybody. I previously had a business where my first business, unfortunately, fell victim to 2008 recession, but that got up to 45 heads. And for me, probably it started to get to the point where I maybe wasn't enjoying it as much because you can't obviously have a strong relationship with everybody at that head count. But equally, it's a funny one. You've equally got to give people opportunity because ultimately they'll end up or be happy that people might leave in time because they ultimately feel, well, I've outgrown the business. The business doesn't want to grow to the pace I want it to grow to. So maybe I have to do something different.
No, it's a good point. And one thing I missed out, it comes from Walksheim times really, and Des and the guys there. It's, we work hard. We work really hard, but we have a smile on the face while we do it. We have a bit of a laugh. It's not you go into offices where you walk in and you can hear a pin drop.
Yeah, it's like a library.
And I get that. And I get that, at times people do need to keep their head down, but you got to have a smile. You've got to want to come into work in the morning, haven't you? And have a smile on your face. So yeah, that and you're right. We want to have we don't, and we have had the chats. We don't just want to stick to the three. It don't have to be the three of us as just directors. We want opportunity for all our guys, or because it can benefit us in the long run as well.
Absolutely.
So we're still not quite sure where the business is going yet. But it's exciting. It's exciting. So
and I guess you don't need it's difficult, and I kind of get it. I get what you're saying at the end there, because there's a lot to be said for everyone coming in with a smile on the face.
Yeah.
As you say, there's so many businesses where even if it's noisy in the office, people aren't necessarily happy. I know. And that's a bloody good metric. People genuinely coming in with a smile on the face and enjoy being here. That'll do that. In fact, that probably should be the biggest metric maybe of a business, shouldn't it? That people are happy.
Yeah, exactly.
And it can evolve. But yeah, equally, I would also say my advice is probably, maybe at the end of year 3, you guys go away, the three of you, and sit down and go, right, what do we want to do for the next 2 years, and try and sketch it out. So there's a bit so you can be clear with everyone else as to what that plan is, and you guys know. Yeah,
exactly. And we went through it Walksheim as well, where when I joined, I think there was only 20, 30 staff. And then I think you meant like the recession before, and that dropped down a bit, and then it got up to 100. So I've seen, you've seen it, and I've seen it. Sorry, and it's tough. You see a lot of people come in and a lot of people go. So
it's I bang on about this in quite a lot of the podcasts, so apologies to anybody who frequently listens to Growing Consultancies. But I think there's a thing about growing in threes. So like going from 3 to 10 of you will be a step change in many ways. if you then go from 20 to 30, that'll be again another set of step changes, different process systems, a proper layer of management is probably needed at that point. So there's a lot to consider about the pros and cons of doing, I think, one or the other. And then, you know, what that growth be. And like you say, you guys would have seen that firsthand with Walkersheim. So you've hopefully learned some lessons there.
We have. It's just daft stuff like someone walking to who's that? And it shouldn't get like that, should it? You should know who people are, but it's hard to know over.
Well, with 100 people, it's impossible. It's not only hard; it's impossible. I would argue when you get to that number. Are there any? Would you say there are any kind of core, I don't know, beliefs, rules, lessons you guys learned at Walkersheim that you've absolutely brought into GWB?
Yeah, it's very much that work hard and have a smile on your face, because that's how it. That's sort of how I, in terms of how I developed. That was very much what Walkersheim was about. It was there was no selfishness. It wasn't, because I've seen it elsewhere. That's my job. I live and die by it. It was very much right. You know, Joe Bloggs is struggling. Right, what are you doing? Let's go and help him out. Park that. Can that wait a week? Let's go and help. And that's very much what we're about. I don't like saying it's that, because it's a bit tweery, that family feel, but that's what you want it to be. It's not, because from a company point of view, we need to make sure we're delivering for our clients. And if someone selfishly is making mistakes or whatever, that's obviously a disaster for us. So it's very much instilling that we're all in this together. You know, it's not, if someone makes an error, it's not them, it's the company. So we all get around that person. So it's just getting back to the basics, really. It's getting people in you can trust.
100%.
It's tough. It's very tough, and also trying to get people to come to Oldham as well, the outskirts of Oldham. So it's tough to find the right people. Probably, as you know, Paul, there's a shortage. Anyway,
absolutely, particularly QS or QS and PM, but QS, you guys are hard to find. Good ones,
exactly. So yeah, that's another one. It's hard. It's hard to get. You know, that you've only got interviews and stuff like that. So it's very much like, if we're interviewing people, do we know them? Do we know anybody that knows them? Can we have a conversation with people? Because it's a big call.
Yeah, and obviously the size of your business, you know, let's not be deluded. I'd say most businesses I know, the first probably handful of hires are just people they already know, work with, trust. It's then that next stage that you kind of exhaust that pool of people, and then you're having to go out to market.
Yeah.
And you may or may not know somebody who knows them. They may or may not know them brilliantly well. They can give you a bit of an idea about the individual, but really you're not going to find out until they join. And it's a big step for a business to choose to do that, and also to make sure the person coming in doesn't feel like it's a bit of a cult, because this is everyone's here from the same organisation.
And I get that, and we're conscious of that. We're conscious of that, because you see it in sports teams as well, don't you? Where it can be very, if there's the core of you there, it's hard to fit in. So we're conscious of that, and we regularly go out for drinks or activities or whatever. So we're getting to know the guys, because we have people who work for us that haven't come from our former employers. So it's a good point that.
And I've seen some companies get that really wrong as well, as well as getting it really right. So it's certainly good that you guys think about it and are conscious of it, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
Good. So 2 years in, it sounds like it's probably gone fairly smoothly today. Have you guys got anything wrong? Have you learned any lessons? Is there anything you would have done differently if you had to do it again?
Yeah, we've had a couple of clients where we didn't get paid. We haven't been paid.
Right. Well,
we probably let that drag on.
Yeah.
A little bit longer than it should. So there was a lot of time and money invested into them particular clients not getting paid. So
and without going into detail, Nick, I'm sure you probably don't want to go into detail, and maybe there's legal issues, but why didn't you get paid? Was it within what you're allowed to say?
I think I don't really know to this day. I just think the money's. I genuinely think it's the money you want there.
Right.
You don't have the money to pay. So I think from our point of view, there's a little bit more vetting for clients we don't know. A lot of our clients we do know. So we have that confidence. But if they're clients we're not aware, it's a bit more vetting.
Yeah.
Probably a bit more like the recruitment. It's a small industry.
Yeah.
Generally, an architect or a structural engineer's work. So probably should have done that at the time and react a bit quicker.
Yeah.
Don't go too deep. After if you're not getting paid after a month. Well, there's that lag, isn't there? You do the work, you invoice it, and then there's a few months that they don't pay. Right? Okay. You speak to them. What's going on? Try and agree a payment plan. When it goes on a few months, it's like, right, we're not doing any more work. Where we probably let that run a little bit more, and it's like, so that's a big lesson we've learned, and would like to say, if there is any wood in here, touch wood, we've been quite good since then. But yeah, that was a bit of a painful lesson.
And sometimes I think probably, I guess again, you may have had some exposure to it when you were at Walker Time. You may have not done, but almost somebody else is dealing with that, and maybe you guys are maybe not as. Firstly, it hurts more within your size business because it will have, I imagine, impacted cash flow at certain points.
It is,
but this is all education as well. This is a part of running a business and maybe learning some of the things. Right, we're going to get better at that. We've been stung a couple of times now. Let's do something different.
Exactly, and it's like now when we were at the time, we're busy. We're busy, and obviously, if we're not getting paid for what we're doing there. Obviously there's a client or there's someone else we could be working with or a particular job. So yeah, it was a tough lesson that. But it was quite early days, and I'd like to say we've put that in place where it's not hard to put a quick phone call into another consultant and say, look, we're speaking to so and so, what they're being like. So
100%. Yeah, no, it makes sense, and I think again there's an element sometimes that I have it in my game where you'll have a client go, oh yeah, I've dealt with so-and-so competitor of yours and so-and-so, and they were rubbish. And it's like, and I'm sort of thinking, well, I know they're not rubbish. So sometimes you can fall into it, can't you? Go, oh well, that's ego massage. We must be better. We'll take it on. But maybe hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Was it my competitor who was an issue, or was it the company was an issue?
Yeah. Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do see that.
In terms of. So the 7 of you, you're all fee earners. Have you have any kind of admin staff?
We've got Jo, who's our office manager, but she does a bit of everything. Does Jo?
Yeah.
Keeps us all in line and stuff, tells us off if we haven't done something.
Awesome.
Apart from Jo, we're all fee earners.
Right, excellent. And is Jo responsible for kind of that? See, I guess in a small business, probably like mine. Like my version of Jo is Haley, who does absolutely everything for us in the business and make sure everything that's not the actual fee earning side of it tick over. And to be fair, she's really good at the credit control piece as well. Yeah. It's only when like one client becomes particularly painful that usually me or one of the other principal consultants will get involved to pick up the phone to the client and go, what's going on? Yeah,
exactly. She did a great job on the PI. So
brilliant.
We actually managed to get a cheaper premium.
Oh, brilliant!
Because Jo had the time to get that in place and get the information.
I don't mind how much PI costs you guys. I mean, it cost me quite a bit, but I didn't realise quite how much it costs. No, you guys, it's crazy amounts of money.
It is. It's eye watering. It really is. It's one of our biggest. If not the biggest expenditure for us.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So she does a great job. Keeps us all in line.
Amazing, good. So that probably kind of bleeds on slightly because a lot of my discussions I'm having at the moment, Nick, is about what people are doing, systems, processes, and how they're integrating tech.
Yeah.
And the dreaded word AI to all of that. So what's your guys' approach with all of that?
So where we're at the minute, we're very basic in what we do and what we use. It's quite difficult for SMEs to invest in the technologies. However, there is AI out there which we are using, which you've got to vet it. I've got to be careful when I say this, but you can actually put a drawing into AI and it can measure quantities for you and stuff like that. Obviously, I suppose that will get better. The drawing's got to be good and everything like that, but that technology is there. Very much for us at the moment, it's very much using that as a check. You use that to check what you've done. But there is technology out there that SMEs like ourselves can use to help our day to day. So we're very open to it. If there's anything that can help us on our day-to-day job, I'm all up for it and using it. We are looking into other technologies to help with cost planning. So we're looking into that at the moment. Again, it's a big expense for us. I've tried reaching out to the RICS just to see if there's anything them guys can do to help. That's a bit of feedback to them to support SMEs. Is there anything they can do with IT firms, product, the guys who make these software, see if they can help. So that's something they're looking into. But
yeah, but we know what they'll be like. It's like any governing body. They're always behind. They're just behind the curve, aren't they? I think.
Yeah, they are. So yeah, we're open to it. We are. I think as an industry, it's not just us as quantity surveyors and project managers. It's very much an industry because it's like we've got the software to take models from the design team and take quantities. And so not so long ago, took a model, went to take the quantities off, and it's just a big long list of numbers. So it just shows that if the information's not being put in the right way, there's only so much the technology can do. So it'll come. People get better with it, but that's still a long way to go.
It's the old saying when it comes to data and everything. Shit in, shit out. At the end of the day, it's got to be the stuff you're giving it to work with has got to be accurate.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's then not even the AI's fault. It's the fault of you because you put the wrong information in and you've not.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking. It was like a 30-story odd tower. I went to take the quantities from it, and it's like, I'm gonna have to measure this out now. So it was heartbreaking, really. A few days worth of measuring there, but we're open to it. It's coming. Well, it's here. It's not coming. It's here. Is the technology?
100%.
It's there to help. That just using Microsoft Copilot, the stuff it can do is amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In terms of like you got QA procedures, you can put a document in there and it'll check it for you. So we encourage it. We're encouraging it, and we're trying to see is there anything else we can get to help us make our job easier and better.
The whole point and the general consensus I get from a lot of people is that we've got to reduce the amount of mundane stuff you do and spend more time giving quality advice. Spend more time with your people. Spend more time, you and your people spend more time with clients, giving good advice, meeting other consultants, meeting the contracts, whatever it may be, all the human stuff that we still need to do.
Yeah, exactly, because like the three of us, myself, Gav and Pete, we're sat there measuring drawings and stuff like that. And yeah, we're all up for it. It's like you say, there's other stuff for us to focus on rather than measuring 30-story tower external walls.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to switch gears because I've completely messed up my own podcast here in terms of the order I do things. How did you become a QS, Nick?
Random.
Let's go right back to the beginning.
Yeah, random way to get into it. So, to be brutally honest, when I was 16, 17, I didn't know what a quantity surveyor was. I was into sport.
I don't imagine many did, unless they had a family member who was.
Well, and that's what it was. So I think when it got to university time, it was. I was sat there and I'm like, what do I do? And it was all like sport, that was all what I was looking at. And I'm like thinking, what am I going to do in sport? I don't want to be a teacher. I don't want to be a PE teacher. And I just said to my dad one night, hey Dad, I don't know what to do here. And he went, right, well, my dad's an interior designer.
Right.
He's retired, he's semi-retired now. But he was like, get into building surveying. I would do a lot of work with building surveyors. So he set me up on a few work experience. Right. So I did a few days work experience with different companies. And then my first employer, Gleeds, my dad set up a chat with them. So I went to meet them, and I won't say the guys' names, but one of them was a building surveyor, and they'd set it up to persuade me not to do building surveying. Right. And they actually they wanted to employ an apprentice QS. Right. So I went in thinking, right, do I want to do building surveying? And then basically when I left, it was, I had a job to be a trainee QS and they'd pay for my university. Right, so brilliant. Someone said to me, I'll pay you to go to uni. I thought, brilliant.
I'm in.
So I had no idea until I walked into that meeting at Glades what a quantity surveyor was, and walked away with a job. So so that's how I got into it. So yeah, it was my day. Obviously, if my dad wouldn't have told me building surveying, I'd probably be sat in a sports centre on a spin bike or something. so a bit of a random way.
Yeah,
and that's another thing I've tried to feed back to the RICS. It's people don't know, and I don't know if it's any better today. But I remember filling out the careers back at high school, I think I got midwife and all this sort of stuff.
I used to get tree surgeon when I did it. I'm a bit older than you. I used to get tree surgeons. Like, fucking hell, there's going to be an army of tree surgeons in the
world. Exactly, and there's such a shortage, and it works. We did a few careers fairs, and when you actually showed people what a quantity surveyor was, project managers, surveyors, people were interested. So I know they're trying, but yeah, it's something we need to look. Every industry is the same, isn't it? But yeah, it's just
we've collectively got to do a better job of making people aware of the industry, because ultimately it's a well-paid industry.
It is.
I do believe it's going to be one of the ones that's going to be last affected by AI. In all honesty, if we want to get to the doomsday, so I do think some industries are going to get really, really affected by AI.
Yeah, they will.
And I do believe construction will be one of the last ones to be affected. So I think we need to do more, and I think hopefully. But equally need to embrace tech and AI, because that's probably what a lot of young people are looking at and want to feel they want to get involved in. They want to feel that they're in a progressive industry, I guess.
They do, and it's like when I started, you got a big aerial drawing and you're measuring it with a scale ruler and stuff like that. It's not a sexy job, but you're right. If you can get that tech perspective, you can get models of building 3D walkthroughs and stuff like that. It turns into a really exciting. People can see what you're going to build and. So
the guys I had on a couple of weeks ago, they were so enthusiastic, bless them. But they're 4D planning consultancy, again, it is coming out there, that kind of stuff. It's I don't know, like a version of tell the kids it's like Roblox or something like that. It's like, right, come on, this is what you can do.
Minecraft, it's daft, isn't it? But like kids playing Minecraft, that's what they're building on it, aren't they? They're coming up, So there's opportunities there to get, it's architecture, structure, whatever, construction. So yeah, sorry, digress there, but
no, it's good. No, it's good.
Quite a weird way of getting into it, but honestly, looking back now, great decision. Loved every minute of it. In a sick, perverse way, I get the thrill of doing a cost plan and then getting tenders back from contractors. It's like a bit weird. So it's like scoring top bins. If you get some in football, you get a tender right back in the middle. Your cost plan's right back in the middle of tenders. You do get a bit of a thrill from it. Probably a lot of people turning off now after hearing that.
We'll cut that bit
out. So definitely right decision. I would recommend it to anyone really. It's a great career. You look around like Manchester. Although I'm a Yorkshire lad, you look around Manchester, number of buildings I'm involved with, and you can take your kids on a drive and go. Your dad were involved in that one,
100%.
And it honestly, it's great.
No, I truly believe that. I think that's an important part of being in construction. Be able to say, look, I was responsible, and ultimately, construction touches what everybody does. Will
always be needed, won't it?
100%. You had a child that you had to go to a hospital, and that was built first of all by the construction industry built that. Absolutely, and except for everything you do, it's all touched by the construction industry.
Yeah.
What's your take on how the industry is going to evolve? Obviously, we touched on it earlier, we can't deny that AI is here and it's going to change some things. Have you got any vision as how you think the industry might change? It's not the most fastest changing industry, but I do believe we're going to see change.
Yeah, definitely. I think as an industry, we're probably still very the methods we use. Bricklayers, for example, been doing that for 100 odd years, haven't we? It's a very old. You see it today. Anyone tries to do a modern method of construction, whether it be alternative forms of frame, facades, there's a lot of reluctance there. So that's the big one. I was reading some articles the other day. There are robots looking at constructing houses, whether it's 3D printers or also, and I think that's the way we've got to go, because if you look at construction projects, you might be on site for 18 months. There's stuff going wrong. The client's not making any money until the building's finished. So I think that's the sort of the way I see the world going. It's trying to speed stuff up on site, trying to make stuff more safe, make it a bit more predictable to get costs right. If it's factory built or 3D printed, whatever it is. So I can see the way.
It has to be the future. We've had a real bump in the road, haven't we, in terms of modular.
Yeah.
Certainly, large volumetric modular has had an absolute battering.
Yeah, it has,
LNG pulled out. A lot of them have gone bust, but there are still some doing a great job. A business called Reds 10 is really killing it at the moment across certain sectors. But still, logically, it has to be the way forward, because as much as you were saying, Nick, about people don't know what a QS does, I think there's even more of an issue at trades level.
There is.
There's a lack of good tradespeople. A lot of the best are, in the 50s, bodies are creaking. They absolutely will retire soon. Something like we're going to lose a quarter of the construction workforce across blue and white collar in the next 5 to 10 years. So it's a real issue, and we're going to have a real productivity issue unless we can probably find some different methods to improve productivity.
And you know what? Contractors, being a contractor is not a great business model, is it? Or a lot of them.
It's a crazy business model, you could argue.
It's not, and like you're just saying then, with modular with actual general contractors, a few of them are disappearing every year. So we do need to change. Some of that might be people cutting costs to try and win jobs. Some of it is losing it on projects. So you're quite right. It's coming. It's just when, and it's people having the bravery to do it, isn't it? Who's going to be the person to go away and have that £1 million idea, or machine, robot, whatever it is, who can lay bricks or come up with panels that can look like bricks and stuff. So yeah,
it will come. I'm convinced it will come. So that's the wider construction piece. How do you perceive consultancy within construction is going to change?
Great question. Like we're saying before, it's not great at the moment, but being able to put a drawing in an AI software and for it to be able to quantify, it's very much, can you measure the carpet tiles?
Yeah.
But you can see that at some point you're going to be able to put it's going to be able to do a full cost plan, isn't it? So I can see it going down that way. Depending on the last conversation, I think you'll always still need people checking how stuff's going on site, how it's all going. But that pre-contract work, I can see very much being an AI process. So it's a tough one, isn't it? It's scary but exciting at the same time. But at the moment, I can always see a need for a QS and a project manager, because like you were saying, you still need to make sure the information is right going into the process. You're still going to need people to sign off how a building looks. Is it right for the area? Safety wise, but yeah, it might help that, or
it may help, but like you say, you've still got to have that humans are going to occupy this building. Has it been fully thought through how a human will navigate through this building? Is it fit for purpose?
Yeah,
all that kind of piece.
Yeah, it's a total scare. It's scary thinking about it, but
it is.
But yeah,
you've got to think about it.
Of course,
that's the thing. I think there are some. It still blows my mind. I think I put a poll out, I think, on LinkedIn a few weeks back and said, how is AI going to affect your job? And I can't remember exactly what I said. One was it's going to be an enabler. One was they're scared it's going to affect or maybe take their job. I can't remember what was the third option. The fourth option was it won't affect my job in the slightest. And it's like, people are saying that. It's like, you're mad. It will. It's to what degree of capacity?
Yeah, it's just like taking builder quantities, for example. That is a dying art at the moment. Yeah. Like you say, a lot of people retire. Like one of the guys I used to work closely with, Kev Wood, he's fantastic at doing bills of quantities. And we're now seeing a lot of projects are going back to traditional at the moment, because design and builds put a lot of contractors off. Going back to an earlier conversation, that's a dying art, and it's perfect for like AI, or some form of technology where you can have a model. You can put a model on that the architect and the structural engineers all pull together, and then you can get this, because it's a process that can take weeks to pull a good bill of quantities together. So that is definitely a positive. That's something that can help the whole build process. Making, contractors can price, and that's probably another part. Contractors will be able to put it into their technologies and price jobs. So it'll definitely help. It's got to do. So people shouldn't be scared of it.
No,
it should help the whole process. As a Yorkshire QS, it's a minefield to me.
I think it is for a lot of us. Whatever our role or job is. I think, and I have good and bad weeks with it, where I'll get it to do something, and it's genuinely doing a few bits where I think it's genuinely some of the more admin heavy bits of what I do.
Yeah,
it's helping.
Like I said earlier, just putting a report into it. Yeah. And he just, it spits it all out, with suggestions of how you should word it. So it's a no-brainer, isn't it? That's just common sense to use, and
without a doubt, the bits that are dull and time-consuming, you should be saying, and that's what it is good at. It's good at, reviewing a document, and it's not, I've done it a few times. We had one of your very, very large competitors who we started working with a while ago, sent us through some terms of business, and it was just ridiculous. It was a 20-odd page document. It's like, I read through it, to be fair, first of all, and I highlighted some bits that I thought, and fair enough, put it straight into ChatGPT, and it came back and hit all the issues I had, but with a lot more details to why they were an issue, and then identified a few others that I should really speak to the client about.
Yeah, that you won't pick up from reading. Yeah. The hard reads, aren't they?
Yeah, they're purposely so.
Read just before you go to bed. Dozing off, but it is. But like I reiterated before, it's for an SME, it's tough, but yeah, we're just open to it, just seeing how it can help progress our business as well.
Yeah, good. What would you say has been, putting you on a spot here, Nick, this wasn't one of our preloaded questions, but see how this goes. Would you say there are any particular projects in your career that have really defined you in terms of something went really wrong, or you had a challenging client, challenging contractor? Is there anything that you say, look, there's one or two projects this is where I really learnt my craft?
So when I started out at Gleeds, I did a lot of retail. Right. A lot of retail, and the way the business was, I got thrown straight into the deep end. Yeah. So there weren't much training, but I worked on, there were quick turnover projects.
Which I think are great, incidentally, for a young QS.
Oh, it was great. I made a lot of mistakes. Yeah, probably shouldn't say that on here, but
learned from those mistakes
long time ago. But honestly, it got thrown straight into the deep end. There weren't any particular jobs but it was just stuff like you learn, like it's like measuring and making sure you think outside the box when you're pulling cost plans together. It's stuff on the drawings. That was one thing I learned. I won't say what job it is because it's not finished yet, but there's a particular job I'm working on at the moment. People listening to this who know me probably know exactly which one I'm talking about. It's just been one of them jobs where there's been people going into liquidation on it, right. Contracting side, developers going into liquidation, fallouts, and we're nearly there with it. But it's a job that's been on site for not with us, with previous people involved, going on 10 years. Wow. And there's been so much learnt from that, where it be vetting contractors, making sure it's not all about getting the cheapest price. And I know that sounds pretty common sense, but it's imperative. If someone is ridiculously cheap, there's a reason.
Absolutely.
There's a reason.
100%, yeah.
And that goes a long way into a lot of our reviews of tender at the moment. It's not about getting the price as cheap as possible. Is it the right price? Is it the right?
And educating your clients about that, because I still say, I still speak to a lot of, particularly in the public sector, a lot of a lot of the observations I've had from some of my clients recently is like we seem to returning back to like who's coming in lowest, and it's like that's madness.
It's and digressing just from that question a sec, we see that in our fee bids as well. There's a few, especially public sector. You put fee bids in, and the way our business is, we're very much director involvement. When we get the feedback, we've lost out by 1,000, 1,500. We ask for a bit of feedback and we're asked for resource schedules and everything like that. And we're losing out by 1,500. But the other consultant, they're putting a trainee or a graduate surveyor on it. And it's like, when you say, you do realise you're getting a more senior, but no, procurement system says we've got to go with. They've scored here. So, we see that regular. But going back, that was, so that is such an important thing. Contractor, like I say, it sounds common sense, but that's one thing I've learned. I've learned from that. But that particular job is within a few weeks of finishing. And I think there'll be a big party when that's finished. But even opening my eyes to because that did have different methods of construction on it. And one issue we've had is there's not the test data there.
Yeah.
In terms of resi building, with everything that's going on at the moment, when you come to get sign-offs, like they're asking for test data, you go back to the we don't have test data for that because all the test data is done on traditional concrete frame, brickwork. So that's been an eye-opener for me. It's making sure systems that are being proposed are the right. It's got the test data in place. You've got this golden thread as part of the Building Safety Act. So that's been another eye-opener for me. Again, it's not going with the cheapest product or anything like that. It's going with the right product for that building that's safer for who people are going to use it at the end.
Yeah, so it's the same as any profession you look at. It's like what level of detail, what level of capability have you got doing that job? Are you getting the right advice, the proper advice? Are you getting the best of what it may be? Contractors are a kind of classic example. Are you getting one that's got the capability? They're well financed themselves, and they're not one job away from going bust. All that kind of important stuff. It's like what I do for a living. Often people query why my fee might be different to another consultant. It's like, well, because that consultant is just going to stick a few ads on a job board and just fire any crap at you. I'll tell you exactly who you need because I know the market really well.
Yes.
So it's all this kind of stuff that you've got. It's about value. It's about understanding what value you actually get, I think.
Oh no, definitely.
Good, Nick. It's been a really nice chat. Thank you. I usually end with a couple of questions. May have touched on one of these already, but first is, who would you say has been your best boss or mentor or line manager over the years, and why?
Yeah, I've got two.
Good.
Two different reasons. One we've touched on, Des Walker. Just such an enthusiastic guy who lived and breathed the company. He was he was the founder of Walker Sign. You'd see him sat in the office doing cost plans at 6 o'clock at night and stuff like that. But you just love to work for him. So got a lot from him in terms of the enthusiasm. Second is Kevin Wood, who I think I mentioned before, who technically was brilliant. I learned a lot from him. He was the RICS chairman in Yorkshire for a while, but technically, you did a cost plan, he'd take the time to sit down with you, go through it item by item, how we'd do something. You'd have a bit of a debate if it was the right way. But it was just great for someone to just spend a bit of time with you when you were at that point of your career. So
I think what a lot of people say is one of the issues we face in the industry now. There's not enough Kev Woods in the world anymore in terms of, and that's because of the pressure. Everyone's always short on time now, and I think probably when you started through your career, and it's something I would say for any company now taking on a trainee or graduate, is like, before you commit to that individual, we need companies to commit to those individuals. Going back to our issue about skill shortage earlier. But have you got the time to dedicate? Have you got probably that old hand who's got the time and who knows, who's been there and done it and got every battle scar possible in the industry and knows how to do everything, and can just really spend the time to educate somebody about how to be a great QS or PM or whatever it may be.
100%. And just from them two guys, number of people who've worked at Walkside when them two guys were there, various QS, PM practices, developers where there's directors who have come out, been taught by them two guys.
It's a great legacy.
Yeah, it is. It is. And obviously the company, Walkside's still going strong. So, so yeah, no, them two definitely worked with them for a long time and probably got me to where I am today.
Yeah,
working with them.
And the last question, there's sometimes hits well, sometimes doesn't, depends on the individual. Is there anything you would say, any book you might have looked at or any other kind of training resource that you've used that maybe if you knew somebody was starting in business that you'd maybe give them to say, look, read this or watch this? Or
Great question. It's hard for QSs that. Is there any books? I suppose going back to my uni days and construction technology.
Right.
One of the lecturers at Leeds, Chris Gorse, he did some construction technology books. I know it sounds boring and everything like that, but if you're going to be a QS or a project manager, you need to know how buildings are built and put together. And that's one of the first things is, learn how to measure, but also learn how buildings are put together. So they were both construction technology books by Chris Gorse. So yeah, really, sorry, caught me off guard.
No worries. No. I wasn't going for that angle. I was thinking more like, is there a management book or something? But that's...
sorry, right.
But no, that's brilliant. No, but that's really, because it's a valid... I think sometimes it's a valid criticism, isn't it, of consultant QSs, is that do they physically understand buildability? You know, how often do they go on site and are seeing what's being constructed? And I'll always, whenever I'm speaking to a kind of young QS or young PM, it's like you really need to encourage your boss to let you go on site meetings with them and just see what's physically happening, see the concrete pour, see what's going on, you know, understand.
Exactly know what's going on. Apologies, another one, more negotiation. It was a book called Get Into Yes.
Right.
And that was another one Des used to tell everybody, go and read this from a negotiation point of view. Because I suppose, life in general, you're negotiating and everything, especially with my wife at home. But yeah, that was
a lost cause, surely.
But yeah, that was another one. Getting to yes. Forgive me, I can't remember.
Is that the Chris Voss one? Is that the one where the FBI guy? It
could be. I can't remember, but it was good one. A few good pointers. You know, we're all in negotiations with contractors, clients, and architects. That was another good one.
And that is a lot of it, isn't it? About so coming back to that difficult job that you're hopefully going to get PC on shortly, and that's hopefully a nice bit to end on about. You know, this is where AI won't take over. It's like that being able to, you know, sit people in a room and try and get a consensus and try and get an outcome that's going to work and going to move the project forward. That's the bit that it probably is the invaluable bit that a good QS or a good PM does. Is make sure that you can you can work with people and you know remove some of the heat out of a conversation and
100%.
Get it move forward.
100%. Having a job at the end, prolonging because of a final account, it's no good for anybody. It's no good for a client and everything like that. So it's a people business still. I know we talk about AI and why stuff's changing, but it's a people business. You've got to be able to talk to people.
100%. Good, brilliant. Nick, I've really enjoyed that conversation. Thank you.
No, cheers for having us. Thank you very much.
No, absolute pleasure. I hope GWB continues to go forward.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Awesome.